Hi folks, in this video I'm going to show you how I very quickly and easily made this Passerelle Bridge. So this is this thing you're looking at. This is my Mark 1 model, and this is version 2. So this is basically, this was invented by Kaki King, a really amazing guitar player, and it basically turns, well, in this case, an acoustic guitar into a sort of koto, because you've got these and then these as a sort of, you know, as a separate sort of side to it. So you don't fret the fretboard like a traditional guitar. You just play it kind of like a harp or a koto. So I'm going to follow, well, as a guide, I'm going to follow the plans from Mark Gutierrez's video that he did showing how he made one of these bridges. Well, I think he 3D printed them. I don't have a 3D printer, so we're going to go with wood. We're going to use cheap wood, but as it happens, it's turned out fine. It's turned out fine. Doesn't sound too bad at all. And in the jam that you heard at the intro of the video, just a little bit of external processing and reverb, in the box processing with reverb and little drone accompaniment. Yeah, so that's this video. Right, I'm going to take a shot at making a Passerelle bridge. These are the plans from Mark Gutierrez's channel. He did a video where he 3D printed one of these and then sort of uploaded his dimensions, which you can download as a PDF, and I think he has also the 3D print files. I don't have a 3D printer. I'm going to take a shot making it out of wood. I'm going to cheat. This is the kind of the overall shape. And this is a cheap wooden box I bought in the city from a craft store, which, while doesn't quite match the radius of this design, isn't a bad starting place. It's not a bad starting place. So that gives me my arching shape already. So we're going to give this a shot as a first attempt. Right, chopped off the edges. That's what's left. Parts of the box are in there. That's the box. I can use that box or something. This needs to be glued, sanded, cleaned up, and that's the basics of it. You can see once it's cleaned up, all that sort of stuff is just sanded off. Starts to look like something usable, right? I need to think about how I'm going to do the insert to sit on the fret. So I think if I notch out a bit here and then notch out a bit there and then glue them, that might do the job. So based on the blueprints, it's obviously different. So it's the wood is taller than the plans, but that's easy, so I can just nip off that bottom bit. Radius is a bit different, but let's do a test fitting, and then I need to work out, should I use both of them glued together, which makes it a little bit wide compared to the plans. You can see that. And again, obviously these again can be sort of sanded down as well, to reduce their thickness. Or maybe I'm making two, and maybe that's sufficient. Right, I've got this old Ibanez acoustic guitar. I've tuned it to Dadgad. Lovely. Now that is way too tall, and also I'm thinking even Dadgad, maybe the string tension is too much, because you sort of like, I mean, you barely get that in just like that. So I think I will just take it down in height, and then maybe also think about taking the whole tuning of the acoustic down as well. So I'd say now this piece is matching well with the height of the plans, except on the actual instrument. This is way too high still. That's fine. So I think I'm going to take off another. You can see where it's starting to notch out. Using softwood for this job was not a good idea. This is probably best built out of ebony or something, maybe some red oak. But I'm going to take out another couple of millimeters, maybe a bit more. Okay, so first test fit. Haven't cut any notches in the bridge. That's the next job. The tension here is pretty pretty high. It's dadgad but a tone down, so the guitar is C, G, C, F, G, C. So obviously the position of that can change, it can go up or down a fret. I'm kind of thinking you want to make this part longer to make these notes lower in pitch. Basically a more equal subdivision between the left side and the right side. In principle, that is working. I use a template to help just mark the points for these strings, and I'll just use a square file just to start the notches, and then I'll go and get some 3D printed fret files. Okay, so I started the holes. Actually, I ended up using this triangular file in the end, a bit better. Now, a couple of years ago, I bought these cheap sort of nut files that have been 3D printed by some dude on eBay. I don't think the camera can pick it up, but it does sort of tell you the gauge there, just at the end, and then you just put your own sandpaper on, and Bob's your uncle, you got a set of fret files. Yeah, these nice ones, the Hosco ones, fret files, are quite expensive. How good these will go on the wood, don't know. Let's give it a go. Well, these files haven't worked too badly. There we see the notches for the strings. I've also just nipped off the end here to denote orientation. So that's the top E string in pitch, although it's obviously tuned down on the acoustic, and that's the lowest pitch string there. And you can just about see that. Yeah, is that notch slightly bigger than that? I don't know. It's hard to see. But yeah, starting to take shape. I've also chamfered up the edges, both of these edges here. Let's do another test fit. So it basically works. I'm not sure about the pitches, I'm not sure about the position on the fretboard. Does it need to be down another fret? Also, I think the tuning could be improved, but yeah, we sort of made a Passerelle Bridge in about 2 hours. Need to just play more with the tuning. Interestingly, fitting this, once the strings do start to slot in, weirdly the bridge does almost sort of position itself in a weird sort of way. The strings just sort of bring everything under control, a bit like, you know, a jazz guitar bridge on a jazz guitar, or a cello or a violin. Okay, that's interesting. So you get the same tone here. So obviously moving that would affect that, even the position of it. The sound is not too bad. I think what I'll do is I'll record some samples and definitely make a sample instrument, because obviously I can't play this instrument that I've created. I will just spend some time doing a stain on the wood so it looks a bit nicer. Or I do have some wood stain as well over here. Indian rosewood. Ah, hello. Yes, Indian rosewood followed by linseed. I won't start messing with it. Bit of stain, foam brush for a child. Let's go. Look at that, that's transformed, isn't it? Let's leave that to dry and then give it some oil. Lovely stuff. Okay, it's the morning after, so we've had 2 coats of the Indian rosewood stain. I've had 1 coat of linseed oil. I quickly put that on this morning and it's looking very nice. I'm going to hit it once more with the linseed, let it cure a bit, and then we are good to go. Now, I've got, see, in the end, we just went with the sort of 1 original thickness. So I do have another panel left. So I'll use that as a template, knock up another one, and then maybe, I don't know, I'm not convinced that string spacing is I think it's too far apart, so I might try a version 2 with the string spacing slightly closer together, and then maybe do a different finish on it. So that's the finished first bridge that I made. Now, in the previous clip, I remarked that I had the other half of the lid, right, that I'd used. So this is Mark II. Now this is a slightly different design, but it was made essentially the same as I made this. So what I did, the bits that I nipped off the bottom of the first bit, I basically glued on here, and then I left a gap, so then the bridge would really sit over a fret. So all this ridge basically is to sit over a fret. But in terms of the overall sort of manufacture, exactly the same as the brown one. So, you know, marked it out based on half the template, based on that, but with slightly less space between the cuts for the strings. I did nip off one of the ends, so it's orientated. Yeah, so I nipped off this end. So this is the high E string, and this is for the low E string. Dyed with just black ink, and then hit with linseed oil and a little bit of beeswax. And I think for the sound demos, this does seem to work well, because it just, I think, because of how the sort of, I don't know, the tracks work, this sits really well on the fretboard compared to sort of my Mark I model. So I think we'll use this one for the sound test demo, but it's essentially the manufacturer is exactly the same as I outlined for this. Okay, so let me just, I've got the strap stuck on my leg. Let me just show you this Passerelle bridge. This is my Mark II model installed there. So I've installed it over the 14th fret. So there's my 12 fret there, 13, 14. And as you can you just see, as you see, I've tried to put it at a jaunty angle to sort of basically to try and compensate for the tuning. So all of my strings are a bit more in tune than if it's just on completely at right angles to the fretboard. And then it's just basically held in that sort of slightly jaunty diagonal position, just with the tension of the strings. But, and we're just hearing it through this microphone, sounds good. Now, tuning, we've got Dadgad, which already sounds like nice. But the left half is B flat, F, B flat, E flat, F, B flat. So it's kind of mirroring, you know, my D's here. Sorry, my D's are B flats here. Ish. But obviously you could tune the guitar differently, but this seems to work for me. I as a new instrument, I can't play this because I've never had koto lessons or harp lessons, but I'll just do a jam, give you an idea how it sounds. Again, just coming through on this microphone. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I like it. Part of me is really tempted just to like put it through the modular synth or put it through some effects, but there's plenty of scope for experimentation here. I'm gonna call this a success. I mean, given that basically the materials cost £3, the box cost £3, and then I basically made these bridges in 2 hours maybe, obviously including time for sort of the ink on this to dry and the finishing layers to dry, bit of gluing time. But yeah, I mean, in actual terms of sort of labor, yeah, this was very, very quick and easy to make. Improvements, obviously, you could build the design for the compensation for the tuning. You could build that into the design. Also, you could put the sort of the arching of the natural sort of curve of the fretboard. You could build that into the design as well. And you could get more sort of you could build a better sort of track to fit over the fret. So it's definitely improvements could be made. But yeah, as a sort of attempt to build a Passerelle bridge, I'm happy with that.